Today's lesson is all kind of review of the units we've learned how to measure with so far. So we're ready to take our first quiz. Okay, so I'm going to practice with you guys for about 15 minutes, and then I will let you get started on your quiz. Are you ready?
Yes, we are.
So quick things to really review here. We've learned how to measure with liquid volume. What are some liquid volume units that we've used so far? Let's start with maybe our customary ones, the ones that we use in the United States, and then we'll do our metric ones. What do we see our liquids measured in the United States? Things like this guy, this guy. Eli? Cups, gallons,
And quarts.
quarts, absolutely,
Pints.
and pints. Eli, nice work. What do you say?
Right
You
behind
remembered all of them. It's way behind him. It's hard for him to see. How about my metric ones? We really only talked about 2 metric ones. 2 metric units. One is itty bitty, and one of them's like, well, one of them is
Big shoe.
this big. Because we're still talking about liquid volume, right? Something that would fill capacity. Real. Liters and milliliters. Which one's my little one?
Meter.
Milliliters. And remember, you do need to have a capital L. And those are that. So for liquid volume, anytime that we are filling something with something that's a liquid, we're finding the capacity or the liquid volume. What about my mass and my weight? What about those things? When we're finding how much space they take up, how heavy they are, what have we learned about so far? We talked about actually for customary, when you step on a scale, what you usually weigh yourself with. Keegan. Pounds, ounces, and tons. You know what? I should flip that because which one's bigger, pounds or ounces?
Ounces. Pounds.
Pounds. Does anybody remember how many
I thought
ounces
tons
are pounds?
was I thought tons was the biggest.
The tons are the biggest.
16.
Did I say biggest or smallest?
Biggest.
My bad. I meant which one's small. Ounces are smallest. Does anybody remember how many ounces are in a pound? Kind of a weird amount. Braylon? There are 16 ounces in 1 pound. Very good. Does anybody remember how many pounds it takes for a ton? How many pounds are in a ton, Riley?
2,000.
2,000 pounds in a ton. Very good. How about my metric units? We only talked about 2. We talked about 2 units, a small one and a big one. Savannah.
Kilograms and grams.
Grams and kilograms. So remember, a kilogram is about the weight of your shoe. And a gram is about the weight of a,
Paper bag.
okay.
Wait.
Does anybody remember what's similar to an ounce? What can you grab that would weigh about as much as an ounce? Emerson?
Piece of bread.
Slice of bread would be a good one. How about a pound? What's about a pound, Rylan? Ellie? Well, a horse would be lots and lots of pounds. What's about 1 pound? I got a picture over there. Olivia? Like a stick of butter. Not the whole box, but just like 1 stick of butter would be about a pound. Okay. What about a ton? What's something that might actually weigh a ton? Macy? An elephant, or maybe a
Car.
vehicle, right?
Wait.
Okay. Let's get some
House
problems
weighs
in.
more than, it's like
Are you ready?
Yes, we are.
These ones, you actually get to pull out your marker. We're going to work them out on our desks. We'll probably get about maybe 4 problems in before I give you your quiz. So pull out your marker.
Can we write on our desk with our marker while we're doing the quiz?
Let's see, why not? Let's start with Allison. Kind of.
Can you erase the board a little bit?
I'm actually not going to read those ones, so I'll get you a blank piece so it's not distracting. How's that sound?
Yeah. I can't see.
Alrighty, here we go. Allison used 2 containers of water to fill her aquarium. She used a container filled with 18 liters of water and another with 12 liters of water. What is the total liquid volume of the aquarium? So first of all, are we finding liquid volume or weight?
Liquid
can tell me.
volume.
Miss Jade, which one are we doing?
Volume.
Liquid volume, very good. So we're thinking it's either cups, pints, quarts, gallons, or milliliters or liters, right? So what is she measuring with? What are we measuring with in this problem, Braylon? Liters, right? Because they said liters in here. So she's filling her aquarium. She used one container that has 18 liters, another container that has 12 liters, and she put them together to fill her aquarium. So what type of picture would we see?
18 plus 12.
She used one container that had 18 liters, another container that had 12 liters, and she put them together to fill her aquarium. So we're going to draw a math mountain. Draw it. Draw your math mountain, because I am looking for pictures on this quiz.
We have to.
I got you. Math mountain. Go ahead and get your math mountain.
Variables.
And then one of her containers was 18
What about
liters.
variables?
Her other container was 12 liters. There's stools too if you want to snuggle. Your marker is working just fine. Kevin. One of the containers is 12 liters. One of the containers is 18 liters. Got a mathematician that could tell me an equation to solve this one?
I'm erasing.
Miss River?
18 plus 12 equals 30 liters.
18 plus 12 equals 30. What do you guys think? Do you agree? You think something different? You think something different? What'd you get,
I
Riley?
think it's minus.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Well, if she takes an 18-liter container, Riley, she takes an 18-liter container, and then she takes a 12-liter container, and she's going to dump both of them into her aquarium. What would we do with those numbers? How so? We're probably going to add them, right? Because we're dumping both of them into the container. So we'll add them up. Did anybody, if you don't have those memorized, did anybody stack these for adding them? Anybody? I would stack those. Anytime I have 2-digit additions, I would stack them up and add them like this. And I would say 18 plus 12, right? That way I can say 8 plus 2 is 10. And I put down my 0 and carry my 10. And then I've got 1, 2, 3. And it's a lot easier for my brain to not make silly mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? All right, go ahead and erase.
I did 18 plus 18 plus 12 because there's 2
Because there's what?
containers.
Aha, so one of the containers was 18 liters, and the other container was 12 liters. So you don't have to add them 2 times, you would just say, here's the first container and here's the second. Does that make sense? Thanks for clarifying that one. Okay, would we rather talk about some hot chocolate or some milk?
Hot chocolate.
I figured so. Let's go ahead and do number 4 here. The coffee shop sold 28 liters of hot chocolate. If the same amount is sold each hour for 4 hours, how many liters of hot chocolate do the coffee shop sell each hour? And if the coffee shop sold a total of 28 liters of hot chocolate, and they sold the same amount each hour for 4 hours, how many liters did they sell each hour? How would I represent what's happening in this problem? If they sold a whole bunch and they sold the same amount each hour, what do you think, Mr. Landon? How would I represent what's happening here? Say it a little louder. I think you're right. That's totally what my equation's going to be. You're on the right track. Who can represent that? How would I represent? He said it's going to be 28 divided by 4, and he's right. What type of picture would you draw?
Divided by 4 equals 7.
Oh, you already know my answer. Good. Pull that mascara over your nose, girly. How would I represent it? Because I know that half of my points in my picture, in my word problems, is going to be my picture, right? What would be my smartest math drawing to represent this problem, Emerson?
Equal shares.
Equal shares, absolutely. Because look, we've got a total of 28 liters. If you don't have this picture, draw it with me. They sold a total of 28 liters. And then it said they sold the same amount each hour for 4 hours. That means they sold the same amount for my first hour, my second hour, my third hour, and my fourth hour. So I could divide that total amount that they sold into 4 equal hours.
For 7 in each.
And then Landon and Rylan were totally right. This would be 28 divided by 28 divided by 4, because we've got 4 groups, will give me how many liters in each group, Miss Balin? 7. Ooh, we are talking about hot chocolate, but what were they measuring them in? Liters. 7 liters. 28 divided by 4 equals 7 liters. If I put a lowercase l, would my answer be correct?
No.
Nope, that's the sneaky thing. Even though we can do the abbreviations, if you use a lowercase l, your label would still be marked wrong, because lowercase l doesn't mean anything in these measurements. It has to be capital.
L?
Absolutely. Riley, question?
I instantly did times when I got 96.
Oh boy. So that's one of the reasons why we want to do our drawings, right? To make sure we're actually showing what's happening. Because if they sold 28 liters, that's the total amount they sold. And we would have to figure out the same amount was sold each hour.
My dad broke it.
All right, friends, let's try some math and weight ones. Go ahead and erase. Green beans or kangaroos? I think kangaroos won that one, so we'll go ahead and do kangaroos first.
Kangaroos.
A kangaroo and her joey together have a mass of 75 kilograms. So a joey is just a baby kangaroo. So they're saying the mama kangaroo and her joey together have a mass of 75 kilograms. If the mother kangaroo has a mass of 69 kilograms, what's the mass of the joey? So we know their mass together. We know the mother's mass. And we're trying to figure out how much does the joey weigh. Does anybody think they know what type of drawing that would be? We know their total mass.
This is easy.
We know how
The
much
joey
one of
has
them
6.
weighs. We're trying to figure out how much the other one weighs. Savannah?
The equation will be.
Oh, I don't want an equation right now. I want to know how would we represent this. So that would be half of your points on this, right? How would I represent this, Ellie, if I know their total mass and I know how much one of them weighs and I'm trying to find the other? What would you draw?
75.
What type of math drawing? Guys, any mathematicians who think they know? You want to phone a friend, Chica? if I know a total and I know one addend, but I'm missing the other, what type of picture would we use? What type of math drawing would it be? I know their total mass, I know how much the mother kangaroo weighs, and I'm trying to figure out how much the joey weighs. Mount Mountain, yeah, you bet. Let's draw that. And then I'm going to read it again so you guys can hear the numbers and plug them in. Ready? The kangaroo and her joey together, or total, have a mass of 75 kilograms. Where did my 75 go?
On top.
On top. Total on top. The mother has a mass of 69 kilograms. Honey, when we're just drawing, doodling with it, that will happen. You need to just write, push and write. It's the last time I'm giving you a new one, so no more doodling with them. If the mother has a mass of 69 kilograms, where would it go? Gunner. Where would I put that on this drawing? So I put 69 on both sides? What do you think, Riley?
You put 69 on one side.
You can just choose, just one of the sides, right? Because the mother only gets weighed once. Then we gotta figure out how much does the
Six.
joey weigh? He's gonna be my other addend. How would I solve this one if I know one of my addends but I'm missing the other? Addison, what would I do to solve?
Well, what I would do is, since I have, since the first, since the tens on the mom is 60,
Mm-hmm.
and the total is 70,
Yeah?
I would turn it from 69 to 70.
Oh, I love that.
That would be 1, and then you count from 70 to 75, so then 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, and then you remember that you had one extra, and then you add those, and then you had 6.
I love it. They're great. Focus, focus. Addison just counted up. So she started at 69. Let's go ahead and count up to 75. 70, 71,
72, 73, 74, 75.
So how much would my other addends be? 6. That's one way I could say j equals 6 just like that. Totally works. What was another way that we could solve? Maybe even thinking about that equation. How would you solve? Skylar?
You could do 75 minus 1 equals 60.
So Skylar put 75 minus something gives you 69. How'd you figure out what went in the box? Did you count up also? Or how'd you figure out your answer? Oh, so you just counted backwards to 69. So you went 75, 74, 73, 72, 71, 70, 69. Cool. You can count backwards also. If you do this, friends, can you just plug your answer in and then write mass at the end?
No.
No, so let's say we had it this way, and then we said, okay, we're measuring in kilograms. Why would this not show your answer? It looks like my answer is 69 kilograms. What would I need to do if I solved it this way? Braylon. Ooh, I got picky on this last week though. Instead of an arrow, what would be the best way to show it, Macy? Put it at the end. So move it to the end. My answer that you found was 6. What? 6 kilograms. Good. So you always put your answer with your label at the end. Always make sure it's at the end. Can you restate that for me, Ellie? What always goes at the end? Your answer and your label. Right? Your answer and your label always go at the end. Landon, what always goes at the end? Answer and label, very good.